Well, premium DNA is back, but is it too little too late? We'll talk about that and more on tonight's episode of Geek Dad Live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Live. My name is Jay Glatfelter. We've got a panel of esteemed gentlemen with us today. Of course, we got Quip very fancily dressed. He's ready to make his case for some side of this premium DNA situation.
Absolutely. I don't know. Do you have the People's Court, theme queued up? Doom, 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 doom.
I should.
But I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've got Val here and Blake. And we didn't think Gary was going to be able to make it, but
he's here from the hotel.
He's here. And I'm excited that Gary is here. It's always great when Gary's here.
Yeah, Gare Bears, how are you, my friend?
I am surprised I'm here. I calling in from a hotel. I wasn't sure how it would work, but so far so good. I am in beautiful Orlando. You can't tell from my backdrop, but I've been here at a Spooky Empire this past weekend, and it's been real wild. So going to Disney tomorrow. So I'm just living life, man.
It was scary from an undisclosed location until he disclosed the location. And then we have our special guests. Actually, two special guests. One was planned, one ad hoc, but always welcome on the show. But Val Staples, founder, PowerCon, He-Man.org, legendary member of the toy collecting and He-Man community. Val, so excited to have you here.
Hey, thank you for having me. Now I'm outshined by Gary, Quip, and Blake, but hey, that's all right. Maybe you too, Jay. I don't know. So.
Nah, I'm nobody really. But glad to have you here. Glad to have your perspective on the premium DNA conversation, and then we'll talk about the return of PowerCon and Motu Fest and all that fun stuff. So excited to have you here, my friend. And then, not only one of the finest gentlemen in the world, author of Toys That Time Forgot, volumes 1, 2, 3. It's up to 3, right? Do we get to 4, Blake?
Just the 3.
Just the 3. Editor-in-chief, founder of Toy Collector Magazine, the premium, ultimate, only physical media toy collector magazine in the world. He's holding the cover that was premiered here on this show however many weeks ago. Blake Wright, welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Good, man. And I'm sorry that I horned in on this kind of late in the game, but since I saw the topic and since I am the only person that actually got the Chrome Gem figures he bought, I thought maybe I should take part.
So we'll talk about the email that got sent out, but reading the email is like they reference your figure.
Yeah, which was nice of them, because the next thing you know, I'm getting phone calls and emails about all these bootleg figures I've been selling people.
Oh no.
But Blake, happy to have you here. A lot of Houston Texans regalia tonight. I didn't realize you were.
Yeah, I had to watch my team stumble over trying to get across a 1-yard line. It was just so pathetic.
I'm sorry.
But,
well, Dodgers won the World Series, and that stinks too. So sorry, LA fans. Nobody likes your team outside of LA. All right. Let's before we jump in, we gotta say hello to the chat. It is hopping as always. We'll scroll up a little bit here. We got Country Boy Niner, Jason, Justin Moen, Big Fat Charlie, With All Faults, Hella Geek, Shelf Presence, Cone Killer, Confuser, Frankie Rivera, Sergeant Gomez, Tony Taponi, Alpha Magnus, Brick Something, Allison Troy, Master of Research, Jimmy Seals, James Vinipal, Brian Brink, Master of the Charts. We got Rob, Master Blaster, Matt Bush, Nick Dillinger is here, Toy Gigasaurus, my wife is in the house. Studio Henge is here. Gady's Toys, Mint with Card, Mecha Man Blade, Juice Box Hero, Fake Wood Table. I might be repeating people now. I'm sorry. Tony Johnson, Technicolor is here, and so many more. Thank you, everybody, for coming and hang out. And we have a few member anniversaries. Dave has been a member for 39 months, as well as J-Rod for 38 months. Members of the GDL family.
I got family.
And then we have had 5 GDL family memberships gifted by Shelf Presence. Welcome to the 5 new GDL family members.
I got family.
Except for Chris, who most definitely did not get one this time. All right. Let's jump into things here. Okay. Kind of, it's funny. Oh, he's got another anniversary. Chad Stewart, 23 months. Welcome, and happy anniversary. Gary, you sent a text to Quip and I, our little GDL group chat, and it was of this image that dropped on their social medias a few days ago, and it was a kind of Oregon Trailified premium DNA logo. And Gary, you said something to the effect like, does this mean something? Do you think it's going to come back? Because Gary, you're like one of the few people, or at least collectors I know, that are like really into what premium DNA is putting down. But like, what was your thoughts when you saw this image?
They're trolling us again, or they're just, showing signs of life long enough to avoid lawsuits for another, few months. But I hate to sound so skeptical, but that was my initial thought. And then Quip had the same thought that I did, that this looks like, I'll let you say it, Quip.
Oh, that they died of dysentery?
Yeah.
On the Oregon Trail? So,
gosh.
Because it's the same color scheme, the same,
Yeah,
8-bit graphics, everything. So it almost felt like an April Fool's joke to me, but is it?
Well, no. Well, and then shortly after they posted this picture, they sent emails out to people. Basically, it was a really long and involved email that basically said that they had been in this long, stretched out lawsuit that was because of. I mean, actually, Blake, you're mentioned in the email. I'm sure you've read the email. Are you aware? I mean, can you guys contextualize what the email was putting down?
Yeah, I mean, I think what the point they're trying to get across is that they were involved with some legal issues in China, had problems with their factory, and according to the brothers, they got some product that they were not happy with, and apparently there was some toing and froing. Of course, we all know a lot of that product ended up with Chinese distributors, and you could purchase them on sites like AliExpress and things of that nature at deep discounts. So it's hard to I mean, I had a business transaction with these guys. I mean, I rolled the dice and asked to get this figure made because I'm a huge Earthworm Jim fan. I've always been a huge Earthworm Jim fan. And the one thing that I thought I could do on the cheap is, hey, just a straight repaint of Earthworm Jim in homage to the Playmates mail away from the mid 90s, which is what this is. So, I got these and timely, and they were good figures, nice figures. I think I took back one because there was an ankle issue, and maybe two others had like double hands, like the same, like two left hands or something like that. But overall, the quality was good. I didn't have any other complaints. I sold through the majority of them. I still have a handful. But it was it was the business side of the transaction was fine. I mean, did I, get a little skeptical because the stuff started showing up on AliExpress before I got my shipment? So I did approach them and say, "Look, guys, this doesn't look good. Am I getting mine or what?" And they assured me I would, and I did. And at least I was able to sell through the majority of mine before Green and Black showed up on AliExpress, which it did.
That's right. Yeah.
Months later, thankfully. So I did have a window of about, I think, 4 to 5 months to clear the majority of mine out before they started showing up. Which I bought one off AliExpress just to see if I would get the Green and Black one. And I did. And that figure was fine too. So,
okay.
We can try to put together what happened. Was that batch really faulty? Did they run? And was there a money problem? Because the story that was circulating around is that they just couldn't pay the bill.
Exactly. That was what was, word on the street. That's what was going on.
And so they, the factory said, okay, well, if you can't pay for these, we're just going to sell them here. I don't believe that's ever been confirmed. I don't believe that they've ever said that occurred. I think they assured most people when they were talking back then that was some of the faulty merchandise that they refused. Now, when they sent me photographs of my cases in China, they sent me photographs of the shipping cases that said exclusive green and black earthworm gem. In those shots, there were much bigger, piles of boxes that had other figure names on them. So you saw, Professor Monkey Forehead and, things like that. So there was obviously product that was there ready to ship. But again, is this the product that they deemed unworthy, or was this a thing that privy to the rumor that they just couldn't pay for at the time? I don't know.
Okay. What do you know though, Blake? Just that you got your figure.
I paid them money. I got my figures. I was able to sell through. And yes, I got a little upset that green and black did show up at AliExpress. But at the end of the day, there were worse off people than me when it came to those transactions. I will say a lot of people are now talking about Battletoads and if they're going to get their final toad. And I think Hatter made a video saying that they didn't mention Battletoads in their thing but he was pointing out this Interplay partnership. Well, Battletoads is a Rare product, which is owned by Microsoft, so different licensor.
Yep.
Okay.
So Interplay doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yep. It is
so
interesting.
They've renewed.
Go ahead. Sorry.
They've obviously renewed Interplay, which is good. Yep. I really hope that they keep making, and they are able to make more figures out of Gem and the other properties. People were asking about Care Bears. I don't know this for a fact, but I do not think they have that license anymore, because Cloudco, they showed that in February 23 Toy Fair. Cloudco was sold the Care Bear IP to Invest in the fall of 23. So it switched owners. And usually when that happens, new broom sweeps clean, right?
Yep. New contract.
I don't know if they still have the Care Bear license or not. I'm guessing not.
Yeah. Well, and I think, what you kind of touch upon is probably their biggest problem. And even going back to the Megalopolis thing is just the sheer lack of communication. Like, it's been radio silence for years, it feels like now. I don't know the exact amount of time. There's nothing been said, but it's definitely been multiple years, it feels like. And now you got this coming out, and they kind of said their case on why they've been, I guess, quiet this whole time. And then they're like, hey, so sorry for anybody that ordered and has had their orders sitting for however many years, their money sitting into it for how many years, you're gonna get a free evil earthworm Jim figure. Val, I'm curious from your perspective, because you've had exclusives for your cons as well. Like, you have a lot of experience kind of in this realm. Kind of what's your thoughts on kind of how this has all gone down?
I'm going to try to do this with brevity, but this might be a little long-winded, so you can cut me off at any point. But putting aside personal stuff and just looking at it from a business perspective, you got to go all the way back to the Megalopolis days.
Yeah.
And that was, Matt, who's one of the brothers, and a couple other people that spearheaded that. And as we all know, that kicked off like the end of 2015, early 2016, and it was going well. I mean, they were very ambitious. They had a lot of great plans, tried to partnerships, working with people, really kind of took the toy world by storm. But it did not take long before, unfortunately, and I'm just talking business. This is no personal aspersions or anything, just talking face value stuff. The crack started to show around 2018 when you started to see more impromptu sales that were clearly trying to generate revenue, because that's what they do. But ultimately, that hurts profit when you're trying to have an influx of short-term capital. And then COVID hits, which makes it even worse. And then by the time you get to, I think it was 2020, 2021, you have Entertainment Earth suing them for close to $500,000. You had Chipmunk, I believe it was, coming at them for about $120,000. We know, we've heard rumblings of sponsors or partner sponsorship deals with influencers and reviewers where people were owed lots of money. I don't know if any of that's been rectified or not. And then you have, of course, all the customers where there's people to this day that are out hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Megalopolis goes the way of the dodo, and then Premium DNA comes along. And of course, that's why, as unsavory as this is to say out loud, that's why companies exist. They're to give people a fresh start. If one company doesn't do well, you shut it down, you file for bankruptcy, which I don't think I ever heard any bankruptcy talk specifically. Did that happen with Megalopolis? I don't even remember a bankruptcy claim.
I don't think so. Like, there's a really good article, and maybe other people have seen it. It's been going around for a while, that kind of tries to break down the whole thing.
Oh, good. So with the Toy Overlord, which was the parent company of it.
Exactly. And Premium DNA was kind of like it was around the same time it was going down. And then they kind of just moved over to Premium DNA and just kind of shuttered Megalopolis.
So that's interesting, because it's an interesting perspective on it, because clearly the toy collecting community, we're not as big as some people would like to say we are. We're more, it's a smaller knit group of tens of thousands potentially of people that are spending the most money on the shortest number of the smallest number of things. That's where it's like the old adage of 10% of the people pay for 90% of the stuff. That's where a lot of the capital comes from. So people aren't going to forget what happened with Megalopolis when you shift over to Premium DNA. And then they come out the gate with, what you could say are essentially obscure properties.
Mm-hmm.
We may have love for them as collectors, but they're not going to have a lot of sales potential. They just aren't. I'm sorry. Battletoads, Earthworm Jim, it's on the same line of anything like that, like Silverhawks or Humanoids, but I mean, Premium DNA was going to did Mad Balls as well, and same thing. There's only so much niche value there.
Yeah.
So we get into the same situation where they come out the gate, they come out strong. And then, so was it money flow problems? Could they not pay? Now they have the explanation about the legal aspect of it. It's hard to know for certain unless you're behind the scenes. But, being somebody that had money problems once upon a time, I understand that aspect of it. When I was publishing comics with MV Creations back in 2003, we were publishing through CrossGen, and CrossGen went bankrupt and left me holding the bag for six figures. Definitely not nearly as much money that was invested in Megalopolis and probably Premium DNA, but I rather than filing bankruptcy, I wanted to try to do my best to preserve my reputation, and worked really hard for a lot of years to repay all that debt, which business wise doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're supposed to start over, go again. I shortchanged my entire career for years to struggle to pay people back, and that hindered me. And that's, like smart business people will tell you that's dumb. You shouldn't have done that. You should have filed bankruptcy and picked back up again. But, integrity was really important to me. So it's something where I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of like something going awry that isn't necessarily your fault. But, we don't know whose fault things really are. We hear these bits and pieces. We don't really know what it is. But, to talk about it on a personal side, I've had Premium DNA at PowerCon. I've worked with Ben, Matt's brother, and he's the nicest guy. I found him to be nothing less than a lovely person, and I know multiple industry people on a upper scale that know them and think highly of them and really feel that they are trying to make this right and work hard. And I have heard that some people, they've been working to pay off certain debts, but the size of the debts, I mean, back when you're doing Megalopolis, once you got past the sales, they were trying to do that capital infusion with investors.
Exactly.
And that didn't work out. And, it felt like chasing bad money with good. And then you shift over to Premium DNA. Why do I keep saying day? And, kind of the same kind of feel. And I kind of just wonder if like they seem ambitious, they seem really nice, like really nice guys, but maybe they're just in over their head. Like I always get worried when I see an indie company come along, a company come that does a small IP. And like Blake was talking about, these licensing deals don't last very long. It's like 3 to 5 years, depending on like what your term is. If you're smart, you have like a first option for renewal. But if you didn't perform, nobody's gonna want to come back to that, because a lot of toy lines have like 1, 2, maybe 3 years, with 4th year being like a refresh wave, and then they're burned out or done. And we didn't even get that far, because these toys are just, I don't think they sold very well. I think they sat on a ton of stuff and just couldn't move it, and then they're like, oh crap. So radio silent again. Now we have this announcement, and either these guys are really, really trying hard, or they're the craziest masochist I have ever met in my life.
Right?
So I just don't know. It's like I think it's just going to come down. I think we can all agree to the people that have been I hate to use this word, but I would say burned in the past. They're going to want to be made right before they ever trust anything from Premium DNA. And I think that's going to make up the bulk of potential customers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Where does it go from there? Free toy, that's excellent. Expensive as crap, going to cost them a lot of money. Great gesture, but is it just another step backwards of putting money up that really shouldn't be invested in something like that?
Yeah.
Should that money instead be going towards the debts to make, save face and, good faith effort? I don't know.
Yeah. That's the wild part to me, is just like this is like, it's really nice and people are really excited about this. People really want the evil earthworm Jim or evil Jim. But it's just like, you gotta give the people the things they bought in the first place. Like, do that first and get that, and then say, hey, surprise, surprise, you're getting this. This just feels like more, broken promises or potential broken promises, and just would make people even more upset. And to your point, Val, like, Ben might be the greatest dude in the world, but the business decisions just don't add up, where you are just kind of putting more bad debt on top of bad debt on top of bad debt, and then like hoping somehow there's some great success that just takes you out of it is very wishful thinking.
They're not, if that's what they're doing, they're not alone. There's been multiple instances of so many companies out there that have done the same thing. They're trying to salvage it. They're trying to make it work, and they keep trying other things, but they just keep digging a deeper hole. And like, I would love for these guys to have a turnaround success story, but I think it's going to take more than something like Earthworm Jim to do it.
Exactly right. This is such a niche community. Like, if you have another business with huge like earnings potentials, maybe, but like, this is so niche, and this is the very niche within our relatively small niche of toy collecting. It's going to be tough to do. Quip, you have come here today to litigate the case. With your fancy clothes.
So
where do you side on this?
Val did a really comprehensive cover of just the history of Premium DNA / Megalopolis / Toy Overlord. One quick aspect that wasn't necessarily covered in running through the history was also in late 2019. Toy Overlord did a crowdfunding of sorts for selling shares of the company to try, raise up some revenue and get some investors. They got about 10 to 11% of what their ultimate goal was, but they still took those investments. And part of the issue there, when you talk about a history of not necessarily delivering, was there were some reports that investors weren't necessarily getting some of the benefits that they had been promised via this crowdfunding effort. Some of those benefits or incentives being like gift cards to Megalopolis. And so, there you go. So that's
So they raised $118,000 from 225 investors. They had a target of 7 million, resulting in 11% of their goal. The incentives offers were to spend starting June 22nd. But there was errors in the investor readout. Missing incentives were to be dispersed, and there had been no further updates on the campaign itself.
So it was a history of non-communication, and you can still this page for the crowdfunding effort still exists, and you can see where investors are asking, "Hey, what's going on? I didn't get my incentives," or there were reports of somebody who got their incentives and then tried to spend like a $500 gift card that they had received as an incentive for being an investor, and then their order was just inexplicably canceled, like unable to fulfill, or they said that they had spent the gift card too early, and they said, well, any orders before November of 2020 are not going to be able to be fulfilled. Well, then after November 2020 is when they ran into even more fulfillment issues. So if we're talking about just a history of, be it Toy Overlord, be it Megalopolis, or be it Premium DNA, allegedly there are reports. I have not personally experienced it. You know, I don't have the business experience with them like Blake has had, or many others have had. We all know collectors or have friends. Hey, Gary placed order, wasn't fulfilled. So there's just this history of a lack of fulfillment. Talking a great game. I mean, even in the email, I mean, you said they said sorry, Jay. But if you go and do a file search for sorry, they didn't apologize. That's right. Fair. So they didn't actually apologize for the issues. They just immediately cast blame. And so if everybody in every single one of these instances is the problem, it's always somebody else. Be it the factories or be it whomever else they're interacting with. It just seems like there's a common denominator. And unfortunately, that email kind of felt like a former like boyfriend or girlfriend or lover or whatever saying, hey, I'm sorry, baby, I'm a change. Like, I promise, like, I'm going to do this differently. They talked a really good game. They talked about pre-orders and making sure that anytime they take pre-orders in the future, it's going to actually be closer to delivery. You know, they talked about a lot of the angst that people have heard or people have voiced, we as collectors have voiced with respect to, well, these pre-orders are like a year out, 2 years out. Sometimes you get a notification for, hey, this is, you got a confirmation for this delivery, and you're like, oh, what is that thing? Oh, I forgot, I completely ordered that, right? But people haven't forgotten about orders with Premium DNA. The general consensus has been, hey, where is my stuff? And that's kind of been a running theme, as Allison just pointed out, kind of like a non-apology, a casting of blame elsewhere. And then they come with, what's this evil Jim figure but a bouquet of flowers, a diamond ring? I'm sorry, baby, I'm gonna make it all better, right? That's just how it feels to collectors right now. And so that's not saying that I don't love a great redemption arc, that there isn't room for grace, but how many second chances does one person get? I know me personally, I would like to see the change, right? I would like to see this figure delivered. I would like to see the actual like fruits of whatever. I didn't mean to cheat on you, baby. I just tripped and fell. But it that's just what it feels like to me, right? It's words. Right now it's words. Words are free. Words are cheap, right? Let's show some actions of, does this figure actually get created? Does Wave 1 go out to people? What happens with Care Bears? And even if they deliver this figure for Earthworm Jim collectors, there's still a lot of collectors out there that they have yet to make whole because of the carryover from Megalopolis and pre-orders that weren't fulfilled. I mean, people all night long in the chat have said, oh, they got me for like $300 and I had to jump through these hoops or go through my bank or do whatever in order to try and get your money back. Some people thankfully have been more successful than others, but there's still a portion of the collecting community that has not been made whole. So while it's nice for Earthworm Jim, while it's nice for Earthworm Jim collectors to have this carrot that's kind of been dangled, I don't know what the angle really is. Because I mean, that figure is supposed to be for people who ordered directly from them.
Well, actually, Quip, I do want to take to bring that up. Because out of all of us here, I think only one of us actually ordered this wave of Earthworm Gyms and is eligible for this evil free gym. And that person is Gary. Gary, you bought this order, right? The whole wave. Yeah. You also, since you just so desperately wanted the figures, you went on AliExpress and bought all of them off of AliExpress as well. I did. On top of paying straight to Premium DNA for these figures. So, Gary, like Quip's been saying, where do you stand? Do you feel like, oh wait, they changed, everything's fine? But how are you feeling, Gary?
I'm just gonna repeat what Quip said. words are words. Like, actions speak louder than words. I'm waiting to see those actions actually come to fruition. I do feel burned. I've felt burned for the past 2 years, and the radio silence hasn't helped matters. But it is what it is. I also haven't really tried to get the money back, so maybe I'm the fool too, right? Like, I'm ever holding out hope, and Jay teases me about this all the time, that this will happen. So yeah,
Can I just say your text? Can I read out loud, Gary? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay. So Gary in our chat, quips much like he's feeling now, like, man, screw this, like, it's unacceptable, et cetera, et cetera. Then we'd hold him accountable. And then Gary's like, agreed. But look, if this also somehow turns out to be true, I'll be ever so happy to get that evil gem. I still think it's BS, but we'll see what happens. They already have my money. It's just waiting in to see what comes of it. And then my reply was, Gary, you are Charlie Brown, DNA is Lucy, and Earthworm Jim is the football.
I mean, that is an apt analogy. It is.
And I feel like my response to that probably can't be said on the main show, but but yeah, like I've been holding out hope, although I'm fully embracing the idea that I'm never going to see any sort of return on this. If I do, great. But I did go through and I bought the AliExpress figures because Earthworm Jim is that franchise for me that I just love. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. I actually don't like the games that much, but the toys are, the Playmates toys were very important to me growing up as well. Yeah. So, like, I want this. I want it so bad. And even if it's a crappy, failed all QC versions of the figure, I still
the ones you bought broke, right, from AliExpress?
Yeah. Most of mine arrived damaged or broken. I also, I got the toy collector exclusive through Blake, and that one is the best quality of any of them that I have. But the only thing is, like, they originally promised stands, and even that one didn't come with a stand, right? So
it did not. You're correct.
Yeah. But that's one of the biggest issues of this toy line is that they don't stand up, especially Professor Monkey Forehead. I don't care how you tilt the monkey, he's not going to stand up. And they don't have peg holes in the bottom of their feet. And I mean, there's just QC issues galore on these, but at least I have something. I figure at best, I have something. At worst, this might be reversed. At best, they fulfill this promise and I get an evil gem. At worst, I still have the figures, even if they're the, pardon my one word, shitty version. So
you're fine. It's PG-13. You get one F-bomb per. You're still in the clear. You're still in the clear. All right, let's kind of get to our final thoughts here on this. Blake, what's your final thoughts on this whole situation?
Well, I will say I do know just a little bit more. I'll hit on, take over from what Val said earlier about the brothers themselves. Mm-hmm. They are the nicest people when you talk to them and you meet them and you hang out with them, and it is kind of bizarre that they're personas, when you're with them, are so counter to what their business acumen appears to be.
Well, really nice people can be bad business.
Yeah, that's you're right. Yeah. But I mean, I never thought that them being nice was fake. The handful of times that I had, I met them. Yeah, maybe they're just bad business people. Not necessarily bad people. Just they just can't handle their stomach is too big for their plate. What's the whole thing with the, so they overreach a lot. Now to the evil Jim figure, this is going to cost them 2 head sculpts. They've already got that Jim sculpt. Okay. So it's not going to cost them an arm and a leg because they're not creating, because if you go back to the picture itself, that's Jim.
Yeah.
Evil Jim actually is different. He has a triangle neck and not a circular neck hole and things like that. So you're not getting, the spot on Evil Jim. You're getting 2 new head sculpts on an existing Earthworm Jim figure, which, I'm not saying is bad or good one way or another, but it's the way that they can offer something like this at minimal cost to themselves, which is still, admirable if they get this done. Now, I saw this figure in May of this year.
Really?
So it's been in the works for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I meet the brothers every year at Licensing Expo in Vegas, and that's a show that happens in May. And so they showed me this and told me their plans. Of course, that was all under, NDA and stuff. So I can't just come out and say that or publish it or whatever.
Sure.
But I've known about this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know when they were going to announce it. I thought maybe they actually weren't, because it had taken a minute. I am cautiously optimistic. My question is, there must be some money coming from somewhere. I don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Either they've got new investors or they've won the lottery or something. I don't know.
Sold a kidney.
Sold a kidney. Yeah, there's
That's
two kidneys between them. Maybe 4 kidneys between them. Maybe they sold. I don't know. But
Gary's the investor.
Yeah, Gary keeps pre-ordering the wave, so I just
I thought
maybe they hit it with crypto. I have no idea, but I do know that beyond the gym stuff, they also showed me some other licenses that they're working on, and apparently a couple of them that they do have. They haven't announced those yet, so I will not announce them here. But they do appear to be a toy company in motion once again. Let's put it that way.
Fascinating. So they had to have gotten some investment then.
Somehow.
You have to have capital infusion to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. And I do not know how, and I do not know from where. I do know the last 2 times I have met them, their father has been with them. He's a kindly elderly gentleman. I don't know what his financial stake in any of this is, if he has one at all. Maybe he just comes to the licensing shows so the licensors don't chase them out of the booths. Look, Dad's here. Please don't embarrass me in front of my father. Don't know.
Father, money, please.
Yeah. So, and I will probably see them again in May of next year because it seems like they're always there.
Nice.
But by May of next year, maybe this is a moot point. There's figures for everybody. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I will say that this Earthworm Jim, this isn't something they just thought of and threw up. This has been in the works for a while.
Yeah. Tony Johnson, their father, Larry Ellison. Blake, I really appreciate that context and that kind of that background information. And again, for the Garys of the world, I hope that all of this stuff comes through. People get their figures, and if they are really working on all those things, that they come to fruition. But as they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, you can't get fooled again. And that's the important thing to remember. All right, Val, any final thoughts?
I think you all covered it pretty well. I would just say in a general sentiment, to say it again, like Blake said. I mean, they seem like really nice guys. I think unless they are the best actors in the world, like I just don't see how they don't seem shady or flim-flammery or anything like that. So I really think they were just in over their heads with everything. And I think they want to make it right. But at the end of the day, and I would say this about myself if I was in the same situation, it's about making it right. And there's a lot of old debts that have to be resolved either through refunds or delivery of the product or, supplementing the product with something else, replacing it with something that the customer would want. I think that's going to be probably the only way to truly, get everybody back on board, because it's going to haunt them forever if they don't, in my opinion.
Agreed. Well said.
And I hope they succeed. I want them to succeed. That would be an awesome, coming back story. That would be great. But I don't know. We'll see.
They got a tough road to sled.
Yes.
Quip, final thoughts from you?
If you take orders from people as a business, you've got 2 options. 1, deliver the product, or 2, give people their money back. Anything short of those 2 options, and you are falling short. I respect the fact that they personally are come across as nice. I invite any and all listening to look up the etymology of the word nice and the actual Latin root for the word nice. And you might also agree how nice these gentlemen are as a business, having not personally met them. So not making it a personal attack on them, but making it a professional criticism of, it's great to say you're going to do things, show collectors, make it right. That's all.
Make it right. And Gear Bears, as the person who is his own money is in on this thing, you can have the final thought.
Well, only that I hope they make it right, if not for me, but for all the Garys of the world. You know, like it's something that it's just a new thing, the Garys of the world. I hope it happens. I'm cautiously optimistic. Someone said that earlier. That's really where I'm at. I don't actually think anything's going to happen, but I feel a little more hopeful, and even more so after hearing what Blake had to say. So we shall see. But I'm not holding my breath.
It's fair. It's fair. All right. Well, again, hopefully people get their. I mean, that's all I care about. Like, people get their figures, and to Val's point, like, there's also just a lot of outstanding. Like, you got to figure that out too. And it's going to be tough sledding. I give them credit for at least trying to keep going, because if I was in this situation, I would have been like, this clearly ain't working. Let's just shut it down and try something else in life. But that's it takes a certain sheer determination of will to keep that going. To relax. And I thought all the Garys of the world were in Vault 108.
I cannot wait until this episode is like published and I can go to the comment section and Control F my name just to see how many times it was said in the chat.
Oh my god. We've posted a couple chats here. Let's see. Dan Chris. Gary, there are people that you can talk with to help you find the strength to exit this relationship.
You deserve better, Gary.
I've been through breakups that hurt less than this. So.
Gady's Toys. I mean, NECA bullied us and they're still in business. Ivan Sanchez, they good folks, but bad business people. Hard to disagree with there. D-Space Niner, damn, remind me never to cross quip. And Michael, $5 super chat. Thank you, Michael. Is Power Town not delivering their figures a worse situation, or does Premium DNA hold that position? I don't know this one that well. Val seems like. Do you know about the Power Town situation?
I know a little bit about Power Town with the wrestling figures. Yeah. That is. It was funny because I even listened to like Jim Cornette. If anybody knows wrestling, knows who Jim is talking. They talked about it on their show, wrestling show, and it's just Blake. You know about Power Town, don't you?
Not very much. I do know that there was some chicanery, but I don't know the details.
Just basically, they were trying to deliver a lot of wrestling toys for a lot of wrestlers that you probably would not see them released by, somebody like Mattel or Jazzwares, anything like that. So they had all these licenses and all these likenesses, and they went around and they scooped up like a ton of licensing rights for all these like indie wrestlers, retired wrestlers, and whatnot. And let's just say like realization of the toys. I want to say they got the first wave out. I cannot remember. Somebody in the chat will know far more than me. But let's just say that like there's been like royalties were not paid, which were promised to like wrestlers. Figures have not been delivered. And it's just seemed to be like a quagmire of things just not progressing. And there was all these pre-orders taken and nothing being delivered. So it's just a big mess. I think it's just a company that thought there was more potential, which wrestling is like a wrestling promoter that's behind it as well, if I'm not mistaken, Power Town. Don't quote me on that, which makes it even more confusing why they would jump into this. But the whole thing is just messy and again, no communication, stuff not being delivered, upset wrestlers. It's not good.
Yeah, that's rough. Like, years ago I befriended Zombie Sailor to Zombie Sailor Toys, and he has his Heels and Faces toy line. And so, we chatted a lot like while he was developing that line and just conversations, and he started really slow but part of I think what he did well was like in terms of, building relationships with those older wrestlers, maybe a little more deep cut, but like for those wrestlers, like they're not rich. They don't have, all these things. And to build that relationship and get those licenses is almost like a lifeline for some of these older wrestlers.
Very much so. Very much so.
Is not good. Like that's just so to overextend yourself to like mess up that. Yeah, that's not a good situation. So I would say if it's, between Power Town, I think Power Town's worse because you are hurting actual, like you're not only hurting people that ordered toys, but you're hurting like real people that are being used to make the product, and that feels worse to me, I would say. Brian Brink also, upsetting wrestlers doesn't seem like a wise choice for self-preservation.
No.
And then Kyle Pearson, friend of the channel, also well-known YouTuber and toy tuber, with definitely a wrestling focus. Kyle Pearson talks about a lot. They own over 1,000 in products. So
whoa.
Yeah, rough. All right, well, let's move on from depressing things. Let's talk about exciting things. Blake, you want to jump on and talk about the Premium DNA thing? You can dip if you want to, or you can hang with us through this PowerCon conversation and MoToFest conversation.
Well, being a PowerCon veteran, I think I'll hang out.
Okay, all right.
Awesome.
But we have Val here because really exciting news that PowerCon and MoToFest were announced. And as somebody that has gone to both the like Anaheim version of PowerCon and then the Columbus version of PowerCon, and honestly, both shows were unique. The more Motu focused one, and then there's the straight up toy focused one. But some of my favorite, I guess more toyish focused conventions that I've ever been to. And so Val was super pumped that you have two big dates coming up where you're making PowerCon, and you'll be able to talk about this more. Like, I don't know all the details, but that toy focused show, and then you have Motu Fest, which is gonna be that more He-Man and She-Ra focused show, which is really cool that you're tapping back into the Motu side of things. But Val, what has led to this moment? I know people have been bugging you for years, like, hey, when's the next show? But like, what has led to this big moment?
Yeah, it's. I guess I'll get the big thing out of the way first. Like I've kind of talked about it vaguely. Blake knows because he's one of the people that I've confided in about stuff. And so do people that I hold in high regard or work with the show. So the big reasons that have held me back from having the show for the years is there's been two things. Right before the first PowerCon in Columbus, I was involved in a car accident, and I was T-boned, and it hit the driver's side door and the front panel, and I ended up damaging my arm pretty bad. And I was wearing the suit during the show, and I was, even when I had a T-shirt, you couldn't see all the bruising and everything that was going on. And I'm an independent contractor. I work for myself, so my insurance is whatever it is. It's not that great. I don't work for a big company, so a lot of expenses coming out of my own pocket. And for that was an ongoing thing. Like it ended up going into litigation, and the insurance companies got involved. But leading up until you get repaid, every bit of that money comes out of your own pocket. So we were trying I guess you would call it conservative options leading up, because I was trying to avoid surgery because it's an expensive thing and holds you back. But I couldn't do anything with my arm. I couldn't lift anything. It was affecting my ability to do work and on the computer. I couldn't do deadlines for comic books anymore. Anything for like toy companies I had to do. I was really screwed. And so eventually I got surgery, and then I had rehab on that for a while. So that was one thing that set me back. Like my money was going to that. Mm-hmm. The other thing, I don't really like talking about my personal stuff, and I've been vague about it. But I'll just be out with it. my mom has Parkinson's, and she started having it went into an advanced stage like right after the first PowerCon, and she requires in-home care. And I come from poor family. It's just what it is. Everything I've accomplished has been grassroots and fighting tooth and nail to get to where I am. There's no money in my bloodline. And so my sister and I, we have to pay for in-home care, and like it's that kind of stuff is elective. There's no, and it's not covered by insurance. They don't take care of it if you want to be there. The only time that it kicks in is when you depleted all your money, sell your house, and have to be shuffled off to some assisted living facility. Yeah. And we don't want our mom to be in that situation. So my money has been going to taking care of my mom. And so, shows like this, anybody that's done a show, and Jay, I think there's a lot of capital that comes out of your own pocket in the interim to make it happen. And I just, I've got some other things I've still got to take care of related to the past couple of PowerCon shows, for people that have believed in me, and I owe them. I need to take care of some things for them, and that all needs to be resolved, before I could jump into things, or at least there'd be forward momentum with everything. So that's the reason why. And I just didn't want to put it out there because most people are understanding, but it's the angry, bitter handful of fans that just take anything you say and turn it into some weird conspiracy theories, and they're going around trying to tear down you and tear down your show. And I just didn't want to put that out there. But at this point, I feel like I can talk about it since things are moving forward. And the other thing is, we've been trying to find a venue for a long time to do stuff. And you can talk.
That's why we haven't. That's why I haven't done an NC Toy Con. Blake was at one of those as well. It's just getting a venue is so darn tough.
It's crazy expensive. Like, yes. I mean, it's crazy expensive what venues are. And I mean, we can obviously talk more about cost and stuff here in a bit. I mean, I can shed some light on that. But we went through a couple different venues where we got close to negotiations, and it all kind of fell apart for like kind of stupid reasons. Just things that like they should have been offering that they weren't, that you discover in the end, you're like, what? I'm not doing this. So we finally found a venue, but I had wanted to do two shows for a while. I'd wanted to do a He-Man one and a toy focused one. And people have been asking me for years, since 2021, please do another He-Man one. Please do another He-Man one. And it's difficult because, we don't have the Mattel action figure exclusives to help supplement what it takes to put on the type of show that I put on. If anybody's been to, our He-Man focused PowerCons, the devil's in the details. We take that money and we put it back into the show. So we have a ton of guests, where like small niche IP focused shows like that typically don't have that. Yeah. And we take care of everybody really well when it comes to the show. And, we do our best to make it a really great experience. And, without that, you have to dial it back. So, we've had to recalibrate. We have to come out with a new idea. We have to refocus. So it's just been a long time coming, not without the desire to do it, but just, life gets in the way. And then, the process of making it happen is cumbersome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and for those that don't know, but like, the Mo2 figures that have as exclusives are like really freaking good exclusives. Like they weren't like some like, I don't know, half-ass repaint or something. They're always really good. Thank you for sharing. Like, you didn't have to share like the personal stuff, but it kind of just goes to show, I think it's important, anytime something's not happening the way you want it to, like, just always take a moment to think like, there's probably stuff going on in the background. Like, people are living lives and you don't know. So don't like put negative ish out there without maybe knowing there's maybe things going on that are bigger than a toy convention. So Mo2 Fest, what is this going to be like a one and done thing? Or are you going to do more? Like, what's your strategy with this show?
It's really just going to come down to, do people want to come to it? It's one thing that I learned very quickly. I think that any showrunner has learned, is that just because people online say they want something doesn't necessarily mean they're going to, buy it or participate in it.
Gary will buy it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, I've learned not to take stock of what I see online. I have to go by the actual data and the numbers. And so, I'd love to do more, but it's just going to come down to, does this one go well? Do people like it? Do enough people come out to support it? And can we move forward? And I would love to do it, but it just, obviously I can't put the blame on attendees. I have to do a good show.
Sure.
But it's hopefully, it will be a good show, and there will be the level of support needed to continue it.
Nice. Awesome. And then you kind of touched upon it, but like, are exclusives going to be a part of this thing, or it'd be more of a PowerCon thing, or what's your play there?
Oh yeah. Can I plead the fifth for now on that one? I cannot say anything right now. I can't. I don't. I can't. I want to, but I can't.
Same thing about guests as well. Any things there? You still working details, or?
I have 6 guests already committed right out the gate. Two are companies, 4 are individual creators.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to tease it, but I want to wait until we have the hotel reservations and stuff up to where it's real, and like then I'll probably like preempt that hotel link announcement for reservation announcement with like our first guest reveal.
Ooh, okay. When could that be? What are you planning there?
I was hoping it was going to be this past week, but it's hopefully going to be. Those should be something this week. It's just a matter of just waiting to hear back from the hotel, like making sure that everything is done, and they have to generate the hotel reservation link, which is the only reason I haven't said exactly what hotel it is. We've run into this problem in the past. We ran into it more so in Columbus, which is when we announce the venue before we give our discounted block reservation link. A lot of people get excited and run out and book rooms through the hotel website, and then they either forget about it and didn't realize they could have saved, or they aren't paying attention and they find out that we had a discounted block, it's sold out, and then they're upset at us because they didn't get it, or upset with themselves, naturally. Sure. So, but I mean, keep in mind, there's also people that don't want to book the discounted reservation. They have like a, plan or a program with the hotel or a credit card where it's more beneficial to do it direct. And I get that. But it benefits us and it benefits them to channel them through the discounted room block to do that as much as we can. So I'm just waiting until we have that so I can go, boom, boom, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. A few comments in the chat about like, oh, I wish it was still in California, or I wish it was here. Is having in Ohio just part of the cost thing? Because I know, again, having tried to do it myself, like getting a hotel, like especially hotel ballrooms or whatever, it's insane the cost. Now.
It's I know there's a guy named Mike Gordon. He's really nice guy, fan, and then you guys know Mega J Retro. Yep. They're working together to try to kickstart a. Hold on, just a second. My battery is gonna die here. I gotta plug this up. I didn't realize my phone was in such disarray. They're trying to kickstart a He-Man show in California, and I wish them well. I mean, I hope it goes well. But like for us, it's really expensive. Like they're set up in they're trying to set up in the Torrance Marriott, and I was there. We had 1, 2, 5 shows in the Torrance Marriott, and the first time we were there was sort of in that we were still coming out of the 2008 recession period, and it was still a little bit of a buyer's market. Like it took until 2014. I think it was like 2014 before the job market's supposedly got itself back on track, in 2013 before the stock market was back on track. So we were still in a zone where spending was down, money was down, revenue was down. So companies were more amenable to negotiation and really cheap rates, but it was still expensive. I don't mind letting you in to know that like just our base rental cost, even with a discount back then, this is just the room rental, was $15,000, and that was a 10,000 square foot ballroom, and that was at a time where you could get it really, really cheap. It only went up after that, and we outgrew that hotel, and now we can only fit in so many places in California. And what happened, which was really interesting, several months ago, the tourism division of the city of Anaheim reached back out to myself and my venue agent and said, we want PowerCon to come back. And I was like, well, this is an interesting development.
Ooh.
And so we thought we'd, hear, I mean, it never hurts to hear somebody out, right?
Sure.
So
these are so nice because you're like right across from Disneyland. Like it was a perfect location.
Exactly. we really liked that venue. That was a great place. And it was expensive as all get out, but it was nice. And it's now the job of the tourism department to be the ambassador to the venues to try to help, vet that situation and negotiate and help negotiate a deal. Well, the first bid we got back was from the Hilton Anaheim where we had been, and the base rental cost, even with negotiated buffers with like food and beverage and everything, was $45,000. And I was like, nope, sorry, it's just not happening, because it's like, He-Man show, like any show, like a Transformers show or a G.I. Joe show or a Gym show or a Barbie show or whatever, it's brand specific appeal. And you're only going to get a finite number of people. As much as people love something and they're passionate about it and they talk about it, you still are going to get a small crowd to come to a show like that.
Sure.
Now, it's a great show for the vendors because they know exactly what product to bring. It's a great opportunity for the companies to come, like the licensed companies and even Mattel and whatnot, because, hey, if we make a product, we know the people coming there are going to buy it. Yeah. And they reach their core audience and they can get feedback from them and find out, hey, where do you want to spend your money? So they love to have that direct feedback. But just the cost alone, I mean, we're going to be moving into six figures for everything. And it's just like, no, that's not what I call wanting us back in Anaheim. That's not going to happen. So we're still having discussions. We'll see about that one. But for now, I feel very comfortable with the Midwest because we negotiated a really, really good deal for where we are. And it's something that He-Man fans have been asking for years. It's like, you guys are always in California. When are you going to appeal to the rest of the country? And so I think by having it here, it definitely, the Midwest has a massive concentration of toy collectors, as everybody knows. Think of all the toy shows that are in this area. It's like a mecca for toy collecting. And then you got the East Coast, which is, pretty easy for them to commute to it. So I'm looking forward to it. Nice. I would still love to be in LA, or in that area, but I'm looking forward to what we're doing here.
No, I love it. So, it's happening in 2026 in September. Presumably the movie will have come out, knock on wood,
June.
So is there, a hope to have some synergy, or at least just running off of some excitement from the movie coming into this? Like, is that part of it, or just like whatever?
I've seen how the hype engine has worked in regards to Master Universe product in the past and how it relates to like convention turnout, and I don't think it necessarily impacts it that greatly. I know, like, when BotCon was around, when like the Bayformer movies first came out, they did get a sizable boost from it, but that's also because they also were putting out some amazing exclusives that they had with Hasbro in partnership at the time too. But for as big as those movies were, their attendance was still finite, and it's a situation where, like, you just can't, there'll be people that think like, oh, well, if you had 5,000 people before, now you're going to have 50,000 people. No, it'd just be a small bump is all you're going to get.
So you're saying you're not going to have Idris Elba there, as we'll get?
No,
Allison Brie.
Allison Brie, yeah.
Man, I mean, she's easy on the eyes, but there's no way I can afford Allison Brie.
Kristen Wiig?
No.
Wait, Kristen Wiig is in it? Is that
she's Roboto? Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I'm kind of like, I haven't really gone too far into like casting and stuff. I know Idris Elba's in it though.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that.
It's going to be interesting. I feel more comfortable doing it after the movie, because if the movie does really, really well, then that's going to help boost our attendance to some degree. if the movie doesn't do well, which I hope is not the case, then we're probably going to see the same attendance we would have beforehand, and that makes me more comfortable. Like I know where my target is. You know, if you try to focus too much on hype, you can get caught up in that, and that can really skew the direction that you want to go in, as well as skew your expectations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't talk about it on the main show a lot, but I am involved in the con industry, and that's something that I do regularly. And I always say to anyone talking about it, I'm like, I admire the hell out of anyone who puts on a show, because I know how to do my side of things, but what you do is so hard. And I just want to, say thank you for doing it. And also thank you for being vulnerable and telling your story, because I've seen some people in the chat talking about how they're dealing with the same thing. And I just think it's really great to, have an open, honest conversation about these things.
Well, I'm glad you guys have been so accessible as Slubworks. I'm obviously not going to say names. I mean, I guess it's not obvious, but what I'm going to say will be obvious. Not all agencies are created equal, and it's the job of an agent, as you know, to take care of your client. Your goal, number one, at the end of the day, is to make sure your client is taken care of and they get paid the best that they can, and they walk away with an extremely rewarding experience, as does your agency. That's your number one priority. It's not to take care of the convention or the venue; it's to take care of your client and yourself, and that's how it has to be. But you guys are very accessible, and you're very kind, and you're open-minded, and you will discuss things out. Some agents are very, very hard. Like they have a line in the sand, and they're not going to cross it, and it's black and white. It's this, or pound sand,
right.
And that's how they do it. And you guys are flexible, and if you feel that there's merit to the show or potential to benefit your clients, you would probably have them work something for them to 10 where you might otherwise not have done it. But I'm sure there's plenty of shows where you're like, no.
Yeah. And I've got some ideas for you, so we'll talk after the fact. But
awesome.
Yeah, Gary definitely comes into like, I don't know about that, but anyway, I agree with this thought. Got to take care of all the Garys in the world. Gary might be too pure and sweet for this world. But all right. Val, any other thoughts, just based on these shows? I guess just to reiterate, hopefully this week we'll kind of have announcements on hotel, maybe first guest, something like that. And quickest way people are going to find that, is it just following your socials or going to your website, or like where can people just hear it first, or where?
Just the one thing I try to get everybody to do is sign up to our mailing list. And I'm sorry, Jay, I should have given you a link to that ahead of time. I apologize.
Give it to me after. I'll put it in the description for our post show watch.
Awesome. Yeah, you asked for assets and I dropped the ball. I'm sorry. So Jay's a consummate professional and I'm a bum. So there you go.
No,
but that's the best thing if you sign up for our mailing list, which is front and center on our the main page of our website. thepower-con.com. That's the best way. There you go.
Right here, right?
Yeah. That's the way to make sure you're not going to miss out on anything. Any major news, links, dates, info is going to go into that in a batch summary report that we send out to people. It's also the way that we contact, like we have separate groups that we parse out for our vendors and our guests and crew and things like that. So the mailing list is key. That's the key place. Otherwise, just pay attention to our Instagram and Facebook. I'm not as active on X. Just because we don't get it, the limited character count is still irritating. You can't put enough information in there.
You want to pay for premium to get more letters? You want to give old Papa Musk some more money?
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. That's maybe one day. I don't know. It's still a very active platform and does well, but it never really did that great for us. It just does okay.
Yeah. I did. So I got the link. I put the link in the chat. People want to sign up for the mailing list so you don't miss out on that. And I'll put it in the description as well. You can also just go to thepower-con.com. And then it's right here, this little click to subscribe button.
I forgot any other talking points. You might have to refresh my memory if there's something I should be talking about.
No. I mean, you covered most of it. He-Man.org, is that a thing? Is that coming back, or what happened there?
Oh, He-Man.org. So yeah, that was all. This kind of happened at the same time,
it
if you
seemed like,
notice,
around the same time.
yeah, it was all tied into like, you know, where my money had to go. And He-Man.org has always been an interesting beast. It is the it just sucks money like a vacuum cleaner. It doesn't stop. And it you know, it was like the number one resource for fans and had a giant forum, but it was really weird because it like, you know, we finally were able to start putting advertising on the site. It was like 2009, and by the time we got to 2012, which was sort of the initial big peak of classics,
Yeah.
we were doing okay on advertising. Now, okay just means paying for all the resources and then being able to put a little bit of money in our pocket, not much. But it didn't take long before things started going in the other direction. And you know, the big thing is just because at the time advertising delivery on smart devices wasn't so great, and people have shifted so quickly to doing their surfing on the web through smart devices. I think it's like 75-80% of all web surfing is now done on smart devices, which back then it was way less than that. And it got to the point where it flip-flopped. By the time I was, you know, couldn't pay for it anymore, it was hundreds of dollars out of my own pocket to pay for hosting and tech support and data backup and all that, you know, IT support and everything. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I had to take the site offline, but there was always a plan to bring it back. And that was to have, you know, Adam at Battle Ram blog take over the site. But I didn't want to announce that when we took the site offline because I didn't want the pressure to be on Adam's back.
Sure.
I didn't want people constantly hassling and like, where's the site? When's it coming back? What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I'd rather them come after me, you know, me be the bad guy for that one. But, and it gave him time, you know, to do what he wanted to do. We also had to move to like way cheaper hosting because we got rid of the forums. And I'm sorry to anybody that misses the forums. It was just, they were the biggest data hog and resource hog that we had on there. And it just, I'd love to bring it back, but I just don't know at this point because it's such a beast. But, you know, now it's back up and running and he's doing his thing and he's, you know, that's all him, you know, like him and his team, like, you know, Ben and Yuka and I think Colt is on there. Like, that's all them. Like I'm just in the background. Like I'm like, if they run into a huge problem, I can step in, but I don't have anything to do with it. So,
yeah. But still, it's fascinating being a fan of things in the 90s, early 2000s. It's like how integral and important forums were, and and how it almost kind of allowed us to find our people in a lot of ways, and you know, relationships built off of forums like Ghostbuster forums and Lost forums and all this different stuff. So it's just I understand the like emotional attachment to it, but like again, from like a business sense, like it's not really a thing anymore, unfortunately, or it's not the same you know, need as it used to be.
It's I'm pretty sure you guys have talked about this numerous times in the past, but it's social media is like one of the greatest blessings and the biggest curses at the same time. It's forums forced people to interact.
Yeah.
And you know, you had to be civil with each other or try to be civil, and you learned from each other. But now with social media, no matter what position you have, you can go find whatever people share exactly how you feel and just be with them. And then you become more and more isolated and less likely to debate openly or welcome a difference of opinion. And it really stinks because that makes forums even harder to exist because people go in there, they want to say exactly what they want to say, and they are not likely to listen to differing opinions. Not everybody's like that, obviously, but I like to say obviously way too much now that I'm saying that out loud. But it's unfortunate because I felt a big part of what made a community special was that you had so many people from so many different walks of life coexisting or at least tolerating and getting along, and we don't have that anymore. Not necessarily.
Yeah. No, it's like with, at least with forums, you had moderators, and so like, you know, if you're I love Nazis. Like, nope, get out of here. Bye, bye, bye.
Nope.
No, we're not having that here.
See you later.
And it's just like, and now it's just, you talk about X, it's like, good Lord, it's this whole, like, there's just, everybody has these create these echo chambers, and it's just, it's gross. And I miss the, I don't know, to your point, of just like true community building that forums had. Flash, is this a sad comment about sad comments? Maybe. But anyway, yeah, no, I think Val, any final thoughts from you? Anything you want people to know about Mo2 Fest and PowerCon and kind of where things are?
I mean, just if you liked what we've done in the past, we hope to see you at the show and get your support. And I think for most shows, the biggest advertiser is word of mouth. So if you know somebody that likes He-Man and She-Ra, please let them know about Mo2 Fest coming, next September 12th and 13th in the greater Cincinnati area. And there will be more information about the spring 2027. That's going to be a general toy, but I'm dialing it back and going in a slightly different direction. Like I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and frankly, I wasn't having any fun. So I'm kind of bringing it back. Like I'm going back to the hotel environments for as much as I can, because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy when all of us can get together right after the show, walk into the lobby where the bar is and hang out and have a good time, or people can come hang out, then they just go right up the escalator to their room when they're tuckered out. Like I miss that. And you don't get that necessarily when you're stuck in a convention center. That doesn't mean I'm adverse to convention centers, because there's a convention center element to Mo2 Fest, but there's also a hotel element. So there'll be more information on that soon.
Nice. Awesome. No, I totally understand it. And yeah, eventually things get so big or so programized or projectized or whatever. And it's just like, God, I just missed the thing that actually fell in love with why I want to do it in the first place.
Like I said earlier, I mean, life gets in the way and it kicks you in the butt. And if I had continued on course, I'm very confident the PowerCon show that we were building would be pretty darn awesome right now. I mean, I was very proud of what we did for 2 years anyway, but it's usually about year 4, if you have that level of consistency, that's where you really start to see the results. And it sucked because I had to just, stop it. And you have to take a lot of steps back and start building the momentum again. And unfortunately, that's just how it goes, and hopefully people think highly enough of it, what they had or what they experienced or what they've heard to give it another shot, which I'd be grateful.
Well, we will be giving all of our support here on this channel. And like I said, I put the link to the email in the chat. It'll be on this.
Well, I'm hoping if not enough people come, then Blake's just going to pay for everything else. I
was going to say, I do know a guy that runs a toy magazine. I need to hook you guys up. Maybe I'll make a connection.
Hey,
get the word out about your little show. What's it called again? Mo Curly and Larry Fest.
That's right.
Mo Curly.
It's cute little show.
I love it.
And Blake is always welcome at my shows. I'm always it's
PowerCon.
I hope he's going to be a regular.
I was so sick.
That's right. You were.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're going home
because it was during the whole cancer thing.
Yeah.
I was so bad off.
Yeah.
If you want to see how bad off I was, it's actually documented in film because who's our friend from Canada that does all the documentaries?
Rob McCollum.
Rob McCollum.
Yeah.
They're doing that show that he did for that G channel or whatever it was called in Canada.
Yeah.
And I forget what the show was called, Cool Awesome Things or something like that. And he did like a 2-show segment on PowerCon. And one of those, I'm sitting in a chair being interviewed, and I look like warmed over death. And it's just, I was just like, yeah, no wonder my wife made me go home. I look terrible.
I give you all the credit because we chatted with you there, and I was like, "Why? How are you here right now?" Like,
I was really impressed you made it, and I also felt massively guilty that you made it. I checked in on you numerous times throughout the weekend, but you're one heck of a trooper, man. I don't know how you did it.
Hey, you know what? I feel so much better now, so I could awesome. I could give both shows my all, and I'll be there. So
awesome.
Awesome.
Well, I'm hoping also there's going to be a Geek Dad Life aspect to potentially Motu Fest. I guess we'll find out more about that later, right?
Yeah, stay tuned. Yeah, I'll do it. Like I told you, I'll change out trash from the trash cans if you need. I'll do whatever you need. I'm there. I'll just bring Blake, his lunches and dinners. Like I'll just be like his special assistant or something. I'll do whatever you need.
At this point, I think he deserves it, really. Yeah. So.
You can be the janitor.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
Everybody.
That was great. That was.
I appreciate it, Gary.
I was never here.
All right. Let's just quickly. We're kind of coming up to the end of the show, but there's at least a few toy news things I wanted to tap into.
Yeah.
Mondo has some cool stuffs. The Sam Hain dropped.
Oh,
it's only
Mondo.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Is that a wink, hint or something? I don't know. But they've got their Sam Hain timed edition for Halloween, and it's done tomorrow. So this is your reminder. If you want to get this thing, you only have till tomorrow to get the order.
And it's tomorrow at noon, so don't think it's running until midnight. It's noon Eastern time, 11 Central time. I don't know why they do Central time. Central time and Mountain time are just confusing.
It is. I think it's like their order.
But yeah, it's 11 a.m. Central time. So whatever time that is in your area, just make sure you're not thinking you have until much later. It's a lot earlier than you might realize.
And it just may not be in the cards for me because my Egon just came and the Boogeyman, I have them right over here. They're incredible. But just after like the tariff charge, it's like $160 or something like that. It's a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not worth it or is worth it, whatever. Like you just have to decide like if it's worth it to you. But I already have a Sam Hain, even though there's a new head sculpt. I really want his 2 little minions and the 6 Slimer though.
Yeah.
And so that's just like, I may have to like pay secondary market prices whenever I have like extra cash on me. Still paying down that Comic-Con party debts, but and by the way, just to really, I don't mean to cut you off, but hey, being a guy that did a party for several years at San Diego, kudos on you for doing that. I can only imagine not only how expensive that was, but how stressful it was just to get it all coordinated like that. I've heard a lot of great things about how well that went, so good job. Thank you. Everyone said they had the best time.
Party at Comic-Con?
You were there, Blake. Stop it. No, everybody said they had a great time, but it's one of those things like when you're throwing the party, and you know this, like it's just like you don't get to really enjoy it because you're the one making sure everything is going on.
No, even in that where it's like it's a finite space with X number of guests, but you're busy making sure everything's going good and everybody's having a good time.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, so it looks really cool. And so for those that are needing to get it now. You only have less than 24 hours, really. And then Mondo just wants to destroy our wallets, and we've got another pre-order coming out for their Batman animated series line, and it's Two-Face. And
this one opens on Tuesday. So Sam Hain closes Monday, and then the very next day, the hits keep on coming with Batman the Animated Series Two-Face.
Looks so good.
That's a line that as much as I think so much of us loved it, even when it was, came out in the 90s, it just keeps on ticking, right? I guess it's just one of those things that just lives on in our memory and just that nostalgia for it. But Mondo has been, in my opinion, just knocking it out of the park, especially Master Universe. I've been constantly impressed with what Mondo delivers.
That coin flip effect. I hadn't seen that. That's really rad.
Can I just say
awesome.
Flash did. I think it's a Gary type joke, but it's really good. Tuesday.
You mean a great joke, Jay? This coin flip is even cooler than the McFarlane one that they did, which I was impressed with. So on the Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face.
I don't remember that one, but this is cool. I think it's neat. It's better than the was it the Toy Biz one with the big old dime like attached to his hand. It's in his hand. No, again, they look great. I think this is an Alex Brewer sculpt as well, right? He does the magic on the
believe
animated
so.
stuff. But yeah, no, exciting stuff. The thing with like Mondo is they're putting out so much good stuff. It's such a high velocity and it's so expensive. It is a premium. I think you're getting the money's worth because of the premium, but like you really kind of have to pick and choose. And while I love Batman animated series and I love these designs, like I don't have the space or the money. Like I gotta like pick and choose my battles. So but if this is your wheelhouse, I think it's really cool. Blake, have you partooketh in any Mondo niceties?
You know, the only Mondo figure that I had was the Lion-O that they did for Thundercats. And ultimately, I parted with it, not because it wasn't a great figure, because it was a great figure, but he was too furry for me. You know what I mean? The sculpted
You're like a
fur on him.
smooth.
Yeah, my Lion-O was smooth, like the animation cell, right?
Okay.
Not furry like this dude. He needed to be groomed.
It was more. It wasn't like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't basically. It was like their own interpretation of what you know.
So it wasn't like this. I mean,
Sure.
like the animated series stuff was like this is dead on kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So if they were doing like straight up animated series Thundercats, I probably would have kept it. But I just he needed some shears or something, you know, to trim that fur down.
Actually, that ties straight in today's sponsor, Manscaped. Use promo code GeekDad10. No. But yeah, no, awesome stuff from them. And yeah, I think that's the one thing I did want to at least tap into for the show. Friends, what a great discussion. Like we got into things today. We dug into things today. So grateful that we had, such seasoned, well versed vets in the toy community joining us, like Blake and Val. Thank you so much for jumping on tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. It really means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And Val, like, again, this is not the last time we'll have you on more. Like, if there's updates or something, want to just jump in and say something or whatever. Open door policy. Blake has an open door policy already, but this I can't wait to kind of see the continued updates and eventual the Motu Fest and then PowerCon shows next year.
Well, I am eager to make the first initial guest announcements. It's not not anybody from the new movie, so don't get excited about that. But I wish it was, but it's not. But we got some good people that I think people, especially in this area, have never been to PowerCon, and be pretty excited about.
Cool. That's exciting. Very exciting. Blake, you premiered your last cover a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks through.
Yeah. So 20 is out in the wild. That was the one with
I got mine.
The Trick or Treat Micro Maniacs reveal. 21 is about 2.5 weeks away from going to the printer. I do have currently an exclusive reveal lined up, which might be one of my favorite covers I've ever done.
Whoa!
So
nice.
If you still haven't jumped on board, what are you waiting for at this point? I think I've proved myself. I've almost been here for 4 years now. I'm not going away, people. Let's get it done.
Yep.
Well, Blake, it was great. Last time you were here, you gave like discounts to people that order like while on the stream.
Yeah.
Usually you alternate between us and Toy Anxiety. So are you gonna do a similar thing with them too? You're gonna do like a discount during the stream?
Yeah, I probably will. Maybe. Who knows? It depends. I'm still trying to figure out, am I gonna do something for Black Friday this year? We've done that in the past. That's coming up.
Yeah.
Or Cyber Monday, however that works, that whole weekend. So there may be a discount there. I haven't really planned it very well just yet, but you're always trying to drum up, especially gift subs as you get towards Christmas. So who knows? Who knows? I'm going to be at Legion's Con here in this coming weekend, so I might just hand out subscriptions there. Who knows? You see me, find me.
I love it. Hello. I love this also from Brian Brink. Quip will be happy to know that all my Toy Collector mags are still mint in bag.
Minty. Are they carded to are they backed like comics? To keep
they get delivered in the bag. That's what I assume.
Well, I know they come in the bag, but I'm just saying, is he really preserving them? He's got to go the extra mile.
If you're going to go full Quip, you got to get an acrylic case. Custom design for
Brian,
the
please tell me you're reading them and then putting them back. Otherwise, I'm just going to start sending you blank page ones.
Wait, hold on. But wait, maybe he's buying two. Maybe he's got one to read, one to keep sealed.
Exactly.
Now that would be
Keep 'em in.
impressive.
And then send it off to go get graded.
Yeah.
I have not seen a graded toy collector yet.
We got to do that.
Ooh.
Somebody
Maybe one of these days.
send it to whatever CGC. All right. Slabbed or go home. Oh my goodness. Toy collector should do blind bags.
If you've got back issues, that's a good way to get rid of them.
Yeah,
Blind
good
bag.
luck.
And then there's your Black Friday deal. Just have blind bag giveaways. And then all my toy collectors are about to get graded. That's awesome.
There you go.
All right.
Nice.
That is gonna do it. No after dark tonight because as time changes, it actually feels like 11:30. We'd probably fall asleep by the time. Wait a second. Is this wait? Are we Blake? Is this
No, we fall back. This is. Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, Moonman Zero. Okay.
Oh,
That's it, baby. My
Nice.
very first graphic novel.
That's awesome.
Congrats. It's beautiful.
It's this is just a bound proof. They're actually on the water. They should be here just after Thanksgiving. So if you back the Kickstarter,
Ooh.
thanks for your patience. It's coming soon. If you didn't back the Kickstarter, well, what are you waiting for again? No, but this was really
Oh, sorry, I hit the wrong.
just
Now you scared everybody off. Good job.
yeah, no, just a labor of love, and I was so happy to get it done.
I was so happy for you because like it was at Toylanta or whatever, and you're like, I don't know, I don't think it's gonna happen or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited.
We got multiple covers. We got this one here. This is the standard cover. We got my favorite Matt Koffenberg's Golden Book cover.
Oh, so cool.
Oh,
That's
sweet.
rad. I like that.
We got Chad Schotel's Jaws DreamWorks homage cover.
Oh, I
Nice.
love-
Ooh.
It's great.
That's
And
amazing.
then my good friend Chodron out in LA.
Mhm.
Oh, he's awesome. I love that guy.
This cover.
Friend of the show.
That's awesome.
That looks
That's a
great.
show, man. That's awesome.
No, that one. Do you read from the back to front? Like, is
Yes.
that?
That is awesome.
I'm sorry to steal the thread. I'm so excited that I'm finally getting this done.
No,
I'm
And,
happy.
Can't wait for people to get it and hopefully enjoy reading it.
We'll, get those graded as well. Send them off.
There you go. That's
There you
something to get graded.
Awesome. Yes, no after dark tonight, but we'll be back next week. Gary and I will be at a toy show in Raleigh, North Carolina, Inside
Ooh.
Pitch Toy Show. Gary, myself, as well as Jonathan from Nostalgia Unbox are sharing 4 tables between us. Hopefully we don't fight or anything like that during the con. But we'll be sharing those stories, I'm sure, in After Dark next week. But anywho, thank you so much. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Blake, Quip, Gary, everybody in the chat. Hope you have a great start to your week. And until next time, hasta luego and goodbye. Take care, everybody.